Tatiana, are we ready?
Yes, we should be.
Hi, Tatiana.
Hello, Geshe.
Hi, Ula. Hi, Christian. Hi, Bertha. Hi, Bish. Hi, Jewel.
So welcome everybody to our second Stupa series. We have today as guest Geshe Roach, and he will talk about famous stupas and steps.
All right, you guys ready? Okay. So I'm going to show you guys a presentation, and here we go. And Geshe will try to talk slowly for the translators, right, Ula? Maybe. When I get excited, I start to talk too fast. Okay, so I'd like to share my screen with you guys. And let's see. Yeah, here we go. So I wanted to talk about three famous stupas that I visited in my life. And I think the first one was about 25, 30 years ago. And this is what got me really inspired about stupas at Diamond Mountain, because I don't know why, but I think human beings, they enjoy putting things on high places, you know. I don't know why, but they feels like they want to put things on high places. So it seems like in history, Buddhists have always put stupas and temples in high places in the world. So I would like to take you on a little tour of the three countries, and three different countries and three different places where I have visited stupas on mountains. And this is where we got a lot of the ideas for how to build the stupas at Diamond Mountain. And I'll be honest, my idea originally was a small temple at the top of the highest mountain in Diamond Mountain. And then because of Dr. Wu, and because of all of our strong fundraisers, Yao Li in Taiwan, Jenny Wang in Singapore, and people in Japan, and people all over the world, also in Europe, in Moscow, in Berlin. And because of all of you guys, such a strong response to the fundraising, I was kind of shocked, you know. And then I thought, wow, we can do Dr. Wu's idea, which is 8 different stupas, one for each of the medicine Buddhas. There's 7 medicine Buddhas and Lord Buddha. And so I thought, wow, we can really do it, you know. And it's not a short project, you know. Some of the stupas I'm going to show you, it took 1,000 years, or it took 500 years to finish, you know. So I think Sunam can finish it a little quicker than that, and Hanli. But anyway, it's traditional to do a good job, and you know, it's very difficult to build a stupa on a high mountain. But we're gonna try, okay, we're gonna try. So let's go first to a place in West China near Chengdu, and that's called Umeshan. And it's one of the 4 holy mountains in China. Each of those mountains is connected to a different bodhisattva. And Umeshan is sacred to both Taoist and Buddhist. And there are 76 monasteries on the mountain. And so I visited there, I don't know, around 2002. I did a 2-month retreat, a silent retreat at Umeshan. I tried to memorize Tao Te Ching Dao ke Dao, Fei Chang Dao, Ming ke Ming, Fei Chang Ming. And so I memorized the first chapter, something like that. And it was a very beautiful trip. So let's go to Umeshan. Let's start in China. And this is what Umeshan looks like, okay? And up here, you can see the stupa is on top of a mountain, okay? So Hanley, this is much easier. Sorry, much more difficult than your jump. Okay, this mountain is a
Acest munte
3,000.
este 3000 de metri înălțime.
Oh, I'm getting some translator, you guys, on my channel.
O să aud pe cineva pe canalul meu.
Sounds like Romanian, maybe. Is that okay? Can you guys fix it? Let's try. Okay, it's 3,099 meters. It's the highest of the 4 sacred mountains in China. And many of you guys know the story of Samantabhadra, which in Chinese is called Pushan Pusa. And there's a tradition in China that he was enlightened up on the top of this mountain. Okay, and Samantabhadra, I don't know, Sunam knows, is famous for his offering. And he covered the sky with German roses, probably, which are the best in the world. And he made this offering to his teacher. So it's a very auspicious place to go. And it's easy to see how he filled the sky with flowers. When you're up there, you feel like you're in the sky, okay? Okay, here's another picture of just one of the temples. There are many temples at Umeshan. And, you know, Diamond Mountain is about half the altitude, half the elevation of Umeshan. So if the Chinese friends can build a big temple stupa at the top of the mountain 2,000 years ago, then probably we can do it, okay? We do have some machines that they don't have. And I think we can do it, okay? They did this 2,000 years ago. Some people say these were the first temples in China when Buddhism first came to China. So they say, tradition says that the very first temples in China were built on top of Umeshan. So if they can build a big temple like that, I'm sure at Diamond Mountain, we can do it, you know. It's gonna be difficult and there's gonna be a lot of problems and it's gonna make a lot of new wrinkles on our faces for, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years. It's not gonna be easy, you know. I will tell you, in America, I bought a small cafe. You guys know, right? Sonam Peachtree Cafe. Mm-hmm. And it's very small. It's 20 people legally. It's for 20 people. And we asked the government, county government, can we build an office are we allowed to build an office? We submit all the architecture plans. We paid a lot of money and it's 3 meters. That office is 3 meters across. And it took 8 months to get the permission of the local government. So these local governments in America, they are very strict. And also Diamond Mountain is next to a very famous national monument. This is one of there's a few hundred special places in America controlled by the government. And so they are very strict with us because their road goes through Diamond Mountain. So, you know, we have to, everything we do, every step we take, we have to get permission of the tough local government, and then we have to get the permission of the tough national government. But we have a good relationship with them, and I think we can do it, okay? But we cannot rush it because if they see Buddhist people that's a very Christian area. They're very conservative Christian area. So we have to be careful. We have to go slow, but we can do it. Maybe Umeshan had the same problem 2,000 years ago. I don't know. All right. And they were famous, the architecture was famous for not following the tradition of the time. They had to change the architecture of the temples to fit these unusual spaces. They didn't have the choice to break the rocks. And so they built the temples and the monasteries around the rocks. And they changed the shape of each stupa according to the rocks of that area. It's very famous architecturally. Now, here's the worst part of Umeshan. These are the steps going up the mountain, and it's a pilgrimage path, you know. By tradition, people are supposed to walk up to the top and then walk down to the bottom, okay? And I was lazy, okay, I confess. I took the bus to the top. There's a bus up the back of the mountain. You can go up the back of the mountain on a bus. It takes about, I don't know, it takes $2 and it takes about half an hour if the bus doesn't break. You go to the top, then I walk down. I walk down from the top and it's 60,000 steps. Okay, it's 60,000 steps to the top from the village of Baoguo, which is at the bottom. And I walked for 2 days, okay? And it was incredibly difficult. The last part, the last half day, I went down backwards. My knee couldn't do stepping down. So these are the steps. Sometimes the step breaks. These steps are almost 2,000 years old, and they will put a step on a guy's back and he will carry it up. You know, it's unbelievable. Some guy will carry a step up to the where it broke, okay? And I don't know why. I heard people in the old days were shorter than people nowadays. But those steps are higher than comfortable for me. So I'm 2 meters high, but it's actually difficult for me to climb up that place. Okay, so our steps will be a little bit easier. Okay, honey.
Got it.
And it might take you 2 nights rest stop. Traditionally, you can stop and take a break and sleep overnight. And it's a beautiful chance to take a break, and you can stay in the local monasteries. It's allowed by the government. You have to register. And you can stay in the Taoist monastery or the Buddhist monastery. And there are, as I said, there are 76 of the monasteries on the mountain. And it's a very beautiful to take a break and, you know, enjoy. You can do some meditation and things like that. So my experience is that it's very important it's very pleasant to do some meditation while you are climbing up the mountain, you know. So we are planning to put a meditation chamber in each stupa. So it's not like you can only walk around the stupa. The plan is you can stop and you get some toilet, you get some refreshments. There's some caretaker there in a small cottage to take care of you, and you can do some meditation there, okay? What does the rest stop look like? It looks like this, okay? These are very beautiful monasteries, small monasteries that you stop and you ask for a bed. They will give you a bed. The bed is, I think, 50 cents or something like that. But you have to sleep in the same room with about 20 other people. Your legs are so sore that it's very difficult to sleep, actually. But it's very, very beautiful. So we would like to build similar. You can't sleep, but you could stop and meditate and you could relax. I would like to say we have a meditation chamber, a stupa, a caretaker's cottage, and a picnic porch. I like to call it a picnic porch. So covered porch, and you can sit and have your picnic there. Okay, so that's Umeshan, and I'd like to show you another place. Let's go to Indonesia. Okay, and that's the lower star. This is Central Java. It's a big island in the I don't know. Indonesia has thousands of islands, and this is called Borobudur in Central Java. And here you can see this is kind of more than a stupa, right? There are 72 stupas at the top, and then there are over 2,700 carvings on the sides of this mandala. Is built according to the design of the Buddhist universe. So the desire realm is supposed to be at the bottom, then the form realm is supposed to be in the middle, and the formless realm is supposed to be at the top. And then there are 72 stupas at the top. So we don't have such a tough job. We're only doing 8 stupas. And they did an interesting thing with those stupas. They are hollow inside, and they have a full-size Buddha inside. And then some smart guy, he put windows in the stupas. So every stupa has about 50 windows, and you can look in and see the Buddha is sitting inside, and it's kind of fun. Okay. It's very close to sea level, okay? It's not far from the ocean. When you go there, all of Indonesia is very low. So this was built about 1,400 years ago. And it's only 250 meters above sea level. And the distance from the bottom to the top, and it's difficult to climb to the top. It's about 150 meters, okay? Let's take a look. Here's the top, which is very, very beautiful. And you can see some of the stupas are open. And these are big. These Buddhas are like twice the size of a person. And this is what the stupas look like on top of Borobudur. I thought maybe, I don't know, it might be interesting to make our stupas in different country style. I don't know. Maybe we have to ask the board of directors and the sponsors. Maybe it's too ugly, but maybe one in the Indonesia style, one in China style. Not the stupa. The stupas are the same, but like the temple or the meditation room, you can have different shapes. This is called igneous rock. It means it comes from volcano. It's carved from a volcano rock. And around this stupas are mountains that are still exploding sometimes. And then recently, about, I don't know, 10 years ago, I was working with the Indonesia government. They asked me to identify some of the carvings, which I started 35 years ago. So they asked me to do some books about it. And then there was a volcano, and a lot of dust came down on the stupa. And it took about 3 years to clean the stupas. They got buried under the volcano dust, okay. All right. Then here's some of the carvings. There are, as I said, there are 2,672 carvings on the site. In fact, we are using those carvings to publish a book by Dr. Wu, translated with Dr. Wu and myself and Yan Tang. And we translated some of the stories about karma correlations. If you do this, you get that. If you do this, you get that. So that book is called Karma Vibhanga. are coming back. So we are working this month. Next month.
Geshe, your connection has dropped. Would you mind to repeat the last sentences, maybe the last three? Okay.
You might have to drop off and come back.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think we missed the last 3 or 4 sentences.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm in Rimrock, Arizona. I contacted Elon Musk. He's going to start internet here. Okay. So I love this panel because this is the famous story of the what you call wheel of knives or the crown of knives. And this young man went to become a sailor. His mother asked him not to go. He pushed his mother down and kicked her by accident on the head. And he made some serious karma. And later, his ship broke and he survived. He came to a special island. And on that island, a crown came down on his head. And it's made of knives. It looks like a helicopter. And this is actually the crown of knives is here on his head. You can see it. It's it's a little bit like a wheel. And so this is the story. And this young man's name is Maitri. And this story is being translated by Seiji Arao Takahashi, Vice President of DCI. And he had a baby recently. And he named him Maitri, okay? So this baby is named from those stupas, okay? And I think it's a big dedication to name your baby after maybe somebody will name their baby from the Diamond Mountain stupas later. I think so. I like this photo of my grandson because his hands are in meditation gesture. You know, he's only about 2 months old at this time. Anyway, he's very healthy. His mother is Noor Ibrahim. Probably you guys know her. She's in charge of a fundraising for DCI, for charity, giving our money away, okay? All right, let's look at the next picture. This is a carving at a hotel next to the monument. You know, you stop in a small town and there's one comfortable hotel. This carving is life size. This carving is full size. These figures are 2 meters high. And it's perfect. It's completely perfect, you know. Then I couldn't believe it, you know. And I went to the manager of the hotel. And I said, who carved this? I need to hire this carver for Diamond Mountain. You know, we want to put some carvings on the stupas like this, you know. We want to make carvings like they did at Borobudur, you know. And he laughed and he said, this carving was done by a laser machine in about 2 hours, you know. So he said, you can hire the laser machine, but it's stone. It's very hard stone. And the carving is perfect. So you make a laser, you use a laser optic record, like they are doing for the Notre Dame. There's a professor from Princeton who measured every corner of the Notre Dame with a laser instrument. And this is how they are rebuilding the Notre Dame. They will make it perfect within a few millimeters, okay? So you can do it. So I was very impressed. And personally, I hope we can do the same at Diamond Mountain, and we can put some nice carvings. Actually, we can copy any carving in the world. And I think it's exciting. Okay. Let's go. Geshe-la's going too slow. Let's go to India. Okay. And these are one of my favorite stupas is in India. This is in West India in a state called Gujarat. And it's near a small city called Bhavnagar. And I went there because Bhavnagar is where there are diamond cutting business there. So I used to go to Bhavnagar to buy diamonds. It's about a 10-hour train ride from Mumbai. And this is called Palitana. And here's a drawing made, I guess, about 200 years ago. And this is famous place for stupas because there are 900 stupas and temples on top of Palitana. There are over 900 stupas and temples there, even hundreds of years ago. And these mountains are very, very similar to Diamond Mountain. The kind of rock and the climbing that you have to do is very, very similar. And this drawing was made during the British time, about over 200 years ago. Okay. This is called Chatroom Jaya Hill. Chatroom Jaya means defeating the enemy. It's similar to Arhat. And it's about 1,000 years old. And the elevation is not too high. It's not too far from the ocean. It's still higher than Diamond Mountain though. Okay, the top of this mountain. I like this particular temple. And these are mostly Jain temples. So Jain is a religion that was popular during the time of the Buddha. The founder of that religion and a figure called Adinata supposedly became enlightened on this mountain. So it's very famous for Jain people. Jain means, the literal meaning of Jain is naked. And in the ancient times, the Jain monks are Digambara. Digambara means they are clothed, they wear the sky as their clothes. It means they don't wear clothes. They just walk around naked. They believe it's bad karma to farm, for farming. So they don't like to grow cotton and they don't wear clothes because they believe in ahimsa, in nonviolence, okay? And you can still see some of them walking around without any clothes on, okay? And by the way, they're very powerful in the diamond business because in the diamond business, it was a way for the Jain people to make money who don't want to farm. They don't want to do agriculture, okay? Here's the steps up to the stupas, one of the stupas. And I did this walk, it's a 3-hour walk. And you are required to go barefoot. You are not allowed to wear shoes on the mountain. And so I think at Diamond Mountain, we should allow shoes on the mountain, right, Hanley?
I think so.
But I had trouble with my feet for about 3 weeks after that. It was very painful. But the meditation at the top, here's one of the stupas I went to. And this stupa is all white marble. And I found out at the top that white marble is unbelievable for meditation. Later, I was allowed to stay in one of these places for 2 months. I did a 2-month retreat. And the marble, the stone, there's supposed to be a marble meditation place in the Buddhist heaven. And it's called Harmonique. The marble is called Harmonique. And it's very special for meditation. If you can find a white marble, usually, by the way, it's not pure white, it's a little bit gray. Okay, everybody thinks it's white, but when you get there, white marble is usually a little bit gray color. But it's still amazing for meditation. It has some special power. I believe marble has some special power. And I meditated there for 2 months and it's unbelievable. Okay, last thing. I'm finishing almost on time, you guys. We are going to go to a place called Arizona. All right. And this is where Diamond Mountain is. And let's go look at, here's our mountain, okay? I actually took this photo. It's a beautiful, beautiful retreat center. And the mountain is beautiful. This mountain is called Mount McCullough. And that's the name of the first director of Diamond Mountain. He worked very hard. He actually, you guys, he mortgaged his house to buy Diamond Mountain. And later we paid him back. This is 1,700 meters up to the top of this mountain. It doesn't look so big in the picture, but it's very high. Hanley, how long it takes to climb up there? I don't know.
It's about 2.5 hours if you hike to the top.
Okay, 2.5 hours. Oh my gosh. I've
Depends
only
how
been
fast.
on the top one time. After that, I said nothing. No. Now there's a miracle. Here's the mountain, okay? And behind the mountain, there's a marble quarry. It's like a miracle, okay? In the whole United States, I think there are 2 marble quarries. And one of them is right behind that mountain. And it was found about 100 years ago. And cowboys used to dig marble here. And now there's a wonderful company. And we made very good friends with them. We are neighbors. And this is Geshe Michael on the right. This is Tim Lowenhout, the director of ACI, is on the left. In the middle is one of the owners of the Marble Quarry, Marco. And I hope we're lucky enough in the future to have some lectures by Marco about the marble and how we're going to use the marble to build the stupas. It's expensive, it will be expensive. We need to fundraise, but there's nothing in the world like meditating on marble. So if you're gonna build the first big stupa, mountain stupas in the West, then let's make them beautiful. If the Borobudur took, I think, 300 years to finish, and Umeshan took more than 500 years to finish, let's make it beautiful. Let's make something that will last for centuries, and people can use it for many generations after we are gone. So that's the first miracle. Here's the second miracle. We found a miracle architecture company, and they are in the closest city. They are in Tucson, Arizona, which is about hardly 2 hours, right, from Diamond Mountain.
Okay.
And they are very popular in China. So they built several important buildings in China. This is the drawing of one of them. I hate to tell you guys, do you know what this room is? This is at a very famous hotel, and they built the Cigar Room. This is where you go to smoke your cigar. I think we should have a cigar room at Diamond Mountain. Just kidding. But they have built, this is in Kunming, South China. And they have built buildings in Shenzhen. They built a large complex in Hong Kong. And so we are so lucky to have like a miracle architecture company. And they're very excited to work with us, you know. So Hanley and Sunam found them. And we have miracle sponsors around the world. Understand? So this is a typical group at Diamond Mountain. And you can find people from Russia, from Germany, from China, from Mexico, a lot from Mexico. And that's you guys, that's you sponsors. So we are lucky to have these miracle sponsors. Recently we got this, we are going to use the laser cutting technology. And Hanli's working hard on this. And the Marble Company also has this laser technology. So they will actually cut a perfect stupa out of the marble. They will cut the whole thing. Is it one piece, Hanli? I don't know, or two pieces? I don't know.
We're trying to figure, the engineers are trying to figure that out now.
Okay. But it's amazing that, you know, that won't take so long to cut the pieces. To get them up there, we probably have to hire some elephants or something. Okay, and finally, here's the plan for the 8 medicine Buddha stupas, going up the mountain to the top. This drawing was made by Dr. Wu's team, and they have helped us a lot. They're helping us constantly every day, and we are working together with all the sponsors and with all the team, and we are making great progress. We have to go not too fast, because it's not a Buddhist country, and we have to go slow. We have to, you know, bring the government people to the mountain. We have to help them understand what we are doing, and we need their support. So we are going gradually, and we're going to succeed, and we are very dedicated to finish it. Okay, that's my presentation from 3 different countries, and now there will be a 4th one in the West. Sanam, Hanli.
Thank you so much, Geshe. I love storytelling, and also I think it helped us to understand how you develop this vision of a temple and stupas at Diamond Mountain, so we know the history. Next, we would like to present you the actual numbers, and Hanli will talk a little bit what happened in the last weeks and months with the architects and the Marble Quarry. And then there is time for you to ask questions. So maybe while we are presenting our numbers, you can think about questions. You might ask Geshe about the stupas he presented, or about the project. So let me, yeah.
I'm going to go back to you. So.
Yeah, otherwise I cannot share.
Okay.
So, can you see?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, dear donors. Your generosity is so incredible. I took the numbers yesterday night, so it's really the actual numbers. So far, we have $1,665,600 So many countries have pledged to take care of a stupa. So Taiwan has a pledge to take care of 2 stupas. Each stupa is 1.5 million, and they already raised 677,000. Singapore has pledged 1 stupa. They are up to 342,000. Malaysia pledged 1, 244,000, 100,000. Numbers in foreign languages always so difficult. Then, because all the stupas have already been taken, all the other countries got together and thought, what are they doing? They want to contribute to the stupa as well. So all the other countries which are not mentioned here, they got together and said, we want to be the beyond border stupas, and Geshe was so kind to translate it into Tibetan. So that's the Samde stupa. They are making good progress as well. It's 195,000. Then Dr. Wu, our major sponsor, our driving force behind everything, is up to 150,600,000, and Japan is up to 48,000. I don't know, I'm always speechless when I'm telling you this number. It's really, we are so humbled by your effort, and also that you share this vision with us, that we want to build these incredible stupas. And I think it's not only the stupas, we want to develop a whole pilgrimage site where we can really also bring the ideas which are which are contained in Buddhism to the West. So it's much, much more than only building a stupa. And if you want to see the breakdown by countries, I won't read them out loud. They are on the website. So if you go to the Stupa update website, you find all the details there and the detailed number. And also happily, we want to welcome the 3 jewels from New York. They made up our own country because New York is the city. But it's really all over the world. So it's really a beyond border. So next is Han Li taking us, no, next are expenditures. We spend a little bit of your money. So as Geshe said, it's we want to make it a very good project, and we needed your money that we can even start, because we need to hire architects. We need to do all the feasibilities, where to build them and how high can they be. So we needed the money that we can even start the project. So that's why it takes a little bit longer that we can start building, but this will be presented by Han Li. So the 2,700 for the marble, Han Li will talk more about it because she is heavily involved with the Marble Quarry. The donor management, all the system setup is about 6,000. It's the same number as last month. So this is the total numbers for the whole project, not only in April.
Hey, Sunam.
Yeah.
The translator begging you to slow down.
Okay, thank you. That's
Take
the
a deep
passion.
breath.
Passion carries me away. Sorry, guys. Okay, the credit card and bank fees have been more than last month because we got so many donations from you, and you know they are taking their share. And also from each donation, we take 2% and put it in the endowment fund, which will sustain Diamond Mountain in the future. And with this, to Han Li and the project line and what happened.
Awesome, thank you very much. So we started this thinking, Geshe Michael started this thinking many years ago, 2018, before I even arrived. And that's when a lot of the business plans were developed and the thinking was applied, so that when we got to September 2020, that's when we could really begin to pull it all together, because so much work had been done already to get us to that point. And that's when we started the official fundraising. We started looking for the best architects we could find. So we actually interviewed 4 different large architectural firms, international firms, to ask them if they wanted to get involved in this project. And even the big ones went, don't know. And it was the firm in the end that is based here in Tucson, which we found had the best match to our values, because they cared about the land as much as we did. They care about really understanding what we're trying to do, and made a very big effort to come here, to look at everything, to talk with us, and spend hours understanding from each of us what it is that we wanted to achieve. And so we're very, very lucky that we found them, that they're close by, because that makes a lot of other things less complicated. And Geshe Michael mentioned the difficulty with plans and permits, and they will know exactly how to handle that. We then also started making friends with the Marble Quarry people next door, who are wonderful people. They are very, very excited about working with us. And they brought in a marble quarrier from Portugal, because they have several marble quarries all over the world. And so they had him come as well and talk about what we're trying to accomplish and how we might begin to even cut the marble out of the mountain, because that's the first step. Once you have the designs, and we got these beautiful plans from Jim Westbrook for a stupa, we showed it to them, and they then started thinking about how we're going to get all the marble off the mountain, because you get the marble out of the mountain, you put it on a big truck, it has to go to Utah, they got to make it there, they got to bring it back, they got to put it on the mountain. So it's a very complicated and long story, but it's fascinating, and everyone can't wait to start. And so we are now at the point in 2021 where we have been to visit the Marble Quarry several times. Their engineers are beginning to plan how to put the stupas together, and they're going to present that to us probably next week. We already have the first draft of the master plan from the architects. We've already presented that to the board and made sure they gave us all their feedback, and they are busy incorporating that feedback and doing a little bit more thinking. And in the next month, they'll probably come up with the last plan. And then we're ready to start all the studies, the permits, the programming, all the things that actually make it happen. And hopefully, if all that goes exactly as planned, we can begin to plan how we're going to start putting the whole thing together, so that maybe by late 2021 and probably by early 2022, we should be able to put something on the ground.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
Cool.
Thank you, Sunam.
Oh, the story about this one, I would like to hear.
And so you saw a line item on our expenses for the Marble Quarry. And what happened was I went to chat to the other owner, who's also someone who's helped us build roads here of the Marble Quarry. There are two owners. And I was explaining to him what we were trying to do so that we didn't surprise him, so that he knew what was coming, he understood the plan, and we may even use him to help us with cutting some of the roads to get all the stuff up there. He was so excited, and he's a very tall 6-foot cowboy, that he said, you need to go to the quarry and go fetch some marble. So I thought, ooh, okay, this is going to be expensive. And I said, all right, what would we pay you for that? He said, no, there's lots of marble lying there. Just go get yourself one. You just pay for the trucks and bring them. So that's exactly what we did. We went up there, walked around, Venerable Cat and I, and then we picked our marble. They said, great, because you can only pick a certain size because the trucks can only take so much weight. And so they brought their big trucks and they brought it to Diamond Mountain, where we put these big marble blocks, and you'll see there are the architects standing next to 2 of the 4 blocks that they very kindly donated to us, so that people could see the marble, they could touch the marble, they could see the quality of it, because there's different types. So we brought different types. And that's really the fun part. So if you come to visit the second half of this year, hopefully, you can actually go and see what the marble would look like, because of course it's difficult to go to the quarry because you can see we're all wearing these hard hats for protection, so not everyone can go there. So I thought bringing the marble to the people would be something fun to do. That's the story about the Marble Quarry and the marble blocks at Diamond Mountain.
Yay.
Thank you so much, Sunam, Hanli. Thank you so much, Geshe. So if you have any questions, please feel free to chat or put them in the F&A. Oh, these are Chinese. Would need to ask Ola to translate it for me. 1 second.
I don't see any questions.
That's it.
Yeah, if Chinese translator can translate, that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question, you guys. There are so many stupas in the world. So what's the motivation for building one at Diamond Mountain? Who wants to answer this question? Grandpa?
Please do.
Okay, Grandpa. It's my experience. You know, I used to talk to my teacher, and we used to talk. I lived with him for 30 years, and I was a hippie. Hippies don't like money. Hippies don't like business, you know. And he said, let's build a temple, you know. And then I said, no, it's just a lot of money and it's a lot of trouble and it's a lot of work. If you're building a temple, you don't have time to meditate, for example. And I was actually against it, you know. And then we had a long discussions. And finally, he told me, look, temples attract people. You know, physical temple, physical stupa, they sit there, they don't talk. For hundreds of years, they sit there. And then people come to see the temple, you know, people come to visit it, you know. And I think this Diamond Mountain Stupa will become a famous place to visit, okay? And I have to say, when I myself became Buddhist, it's because I was visiting a temple. So I didn't have any idea to become a Buddhist. And I wasn't thinking about it. But I heard about some temples in India. And then I was hippie, I went there with a backpack. Okay, honey, guess what's the charge for my first room at the stupa, to stay at the stupa? It's
$10.
50 cents, okay? And then you sleep on a macrame bed. It's just a string. There's no mattress. And there's a string and every string has a bed bug. And so I'm sitting, I was myself, I became a Buddhist because I visited a temple. And so I think I don't personally, I'm very careful not to own too many things. And my house is very small. I think physical things can be trouble. But I think if we build some beautiful stupas in a country which has no Buddhism, there's no Buddhism. Nobody grew up Buddhist in this country, but it's one of the wealthiest countries in the world. And it's one of the leaders in the world. So I think if you put these stupas, just put them in the United States, then young people like Geshe Michael 100 years ago, they will come to see the stupas. They will start to take a program from Hanli's team. Hanli has a big medicine Buddha team they are building at Diamond Mountain. They will ask Hanli's team, oh, how do you meditate? How do you meditate? You know, and then in this way, I think the stupas will really help people. So that's my motivation. Do you guys have anything to say, Hanli or Sunam, about that? No?
I remember when you showed me the first time the idea of building a temple or stupas. For me, it triggered the motivation of a pilgrimage site, this giving people a place of hope where they can go when they have trouble. It's like retreating from your problem, going to a different place and find there the quiet and the energy to think about it from a different point of view. And hopefully we also can give them the knowledge that they can solve their problems with the knowledge about karma and emptiness.
For me, it is about many people. Diamond Mountain is a magical place. There's no question about it. And the volunteers and the guests who come here have that experience, and it does help them think more, contemplate better, and learn about retreat, which is such an important thing to do. And I think that by developing this plan for these stupas, that's going to be even more so. So my motivation is to bring more people here so that they can experience that, and they can learn about retreat, and they can make their lives better and make other people's lives better as a result of that. And so
I
that's,
got a question here from Jenny Wong. Okay, you guys.
Please go.
She's amazing director in Singapore, DCI and ACI. She's amazing, dynamite person, and fundraised many, many times. For example, the roads at Diamond Mountain. Her team, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, they fundraised a lot of the funds for Diamond Mountain in the past. And she and another person were asking, how will this help the donors? You know, you are sitting in Singapore, or you are sitting in Kuala Lumpur, or you are sitting in Surabaya. And why should donate to make a stupa on the other side of the world? You know, why? And I think two reasons. You know, one reason is Diamond Mountain Retreat Center. It's not American, okay? It's in America, but it's not American. It's your retreat center, okay? That retreat center was built by students from all over the world, Europe, Australia, Asia, even Middle East, even Africa. And so I feel like Diamond Mountain is not Western, it's not American. It belongs to the whole world. And it's a wonderful place to come there and do meditation. I believe every person in the world, even business people, they should learn how to do retreat. So it's a great place to learn how to do retreat. If you include my retreat, people did 6 years of deep retreat there. 6 years, people stayed in retreat. And that Diamond Mountain land, now it's very special. It's very, very magical. So I think that's one reason. And also, of course, Western people will come there and they will be interested to learn Buddhism. So I think if I'm living in Singapore or Taipei or Tokyo, then it's an offering to the people who didn't hear about Buddhism. If we put the stupa there, then young people especially, they will come. There's a great group of young people right now at Diamond Mountain. I met them last week. They're all 25 years old. I don't even know what means 25. Like when I talk to them, I feel like I'm talking to a Martian. But they're so young and they have such a good heart, and they are learning Buddhism because of Diamond Mountain. So I think those are two motivations. Number one, it's not American Retreat Center, it's a world retreat center. And Jenny Wong's team especially, and the team in Taiwan, Yao Li Su, they have helped so much. Dr. Wu has helped so much to build Diamond Mountain. It's a world retreat center. So it's really your retreat center. We are just taking care of it. Okay, you guys, what's your plan, Sunam?
Maybe I can combine 3 questions into one question, and this would be the last one because we're coming to an end.
Mhm.
So when the stupa is the representation of a Buddha, can you explore on that? And that also leads to the question, what is the difference between a stupa and a temple?
Wow, who's going to answer this question? Okay, I'll try. I'll try.
But we have Charles.
I'll tell you something interesting, okay? And I don't have the photo right now, but why we have medicine Buddha practice, why we have it, you know, and I'll tell you something interesting. Somebody, a Buddhist, maybe about over 1,000 years ago, at that time, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kashmir, too fast for translator, Nepal, Bhutan, Sikkim, these are all Buddhist countries at that time. Tang Dynasty, 600, 700 AD, spread to the whole Asia. So at that time, half of the world was Buddhist, one Buddhist country. And somebody in Afghanistan they built a, and they just get a rock and they put the rock together to build a stupa, you know. And in the middle, they put a special empty place. And inside there, they put Medicine Buddha Sutra, okay? The Sanskrit. They put the Medicine Buddha Sutra Sanskrit there. I forget what's the script. It wasn't Lancha script, but different script. And that's why we have the Sanskrit. That's why we have, that's the only copy in the world came from inside of that stupa, okay? So traditionally, inside the stupa, we will put something from Buddha's body, something from Buddha's speech, and something from Buddha's mind, okay? So for example, for body, we will put little piece of hair of a great teacher or their fingernails. In the Diamond Mountain Stupa is the tooth from my teacher, okay? When he went to the dentist and they took out a tooth, I asked him, can I have the tooth? And then we put it in the stupa at Diamond Mountain. So you have the body of the Buddha. Then you will put some famous sutras there, like Medicine Buddha Sutra, which is the speech of the Buddha. And then the stupa in general, that shape is supposed to mean the mind of the Buddha. So in this way, the stupa represents the physical presence and the speaking and the thinking of a Buddha. And we have to train, we have to teach the people who come there what is the meaning, the real meaning of the stupa is emptiness, okay? The real meaning is emptiness. Nowadays, you guys, I'm writing a sutra, okay? I'm writing my own sutra. It's called Two Husbands in the Kitchen Sutra. And there's a husband is yelling at you in the kitchen. It looks like he's in a bad mood. We all know that. If you have a partner, you know about it. Man or woman, okay. It looks like they are upset at you, but actually, there's no husband in the kitchen who is not coming from you, okay? And that's emptiness. There's no husband yelling at you in the kitchen who is not coming from you. And that's emptiness. And you can make a stupa to celebrate the absence of the husband in the kitchen, okay? So when you see that stupa, you're supposed to think about emptiness. Emptiness means there's no husband in the kitchen yelling at you, which you did not make yourself. Okay? So really, when you see the stupa, you're supposed to become a better person. And you're supposed to think about emptiness and seeds. When you look at the stupa and someone teaches you what is the meaning of the stupa, you're supposed to remember not to yell at your husband in the kitchen. You can yell at your wife in the kitchen, that's okay, but not her husband. Okay, just kidding.
Testing. Thank you so much, Geshe-la. Thank you all for being with us. I love story time with Grandpa. And thank you all the kind donors which make that happen. Coming up next.
Wait, I'd like to thank Hanli and Venerable Sunam because, you know, this, we call this kind of project, there's a special name in Buddhism. It's called riding on the tiger. Okay. Then you can go very fast. It's a very good karma, but very difficult and very dangerous, you know, like you're gonna get many headaches. Many people will criticize you. 10 donors want 10 different color of the stupa. And you are starting 5-10 years of very hard work. And I just want to thank you for taking responsibility. And I'm very grateful. Yeah, okay.
Thank you, our pleasure. Okay. Thank you so much for being with us, and very excited that in June we will have our architects and they are presenting the master plan, which what does it mean to build a stupa? What is all included? Because there's so much around it. How will they be on the hill, and all the details about it. So you can find all the updates and then also the date for there in a few days under diamondmountain.org Stupa updates. And you can find there also the numbers we presented today. As soon as the video of today is uploaded, you find everything and all information there. Don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. And in case you have decided you want to make a small donation to the stupas or maybe a bigger one. Oh, other direction, sorry, my fault. Here you find all the information to contribute to build these stupas, the temple and the pilgrimage in Diamond Mountain. Thank you so much for being with us. We're looking forward to meet you in 4 weeks with the master plan. Thank you so much, Geshe-la, for all this beautiful information about stupas all over the world and stupas in Diamond Mountain. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you to the translators as well.
Especially the translators.
Yay, translator.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.